Okay, hello guys. It's Bart Johnson here, and it is once again a Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, which means it's time for me to go live and spend about an hour hanging out with you guys. So again, we have a little bit of a different setup today. I'm trying out some new things. As any of you who follow me know, we recently just bought a new house, and so we've been moving in and I've been getting myself all set up. I actually did a tour, a live tour a few weeks ago of the new space and what my plans are for it and what I'm going to be building and all that stuff. So I'll put a card up there so you guys can go ahead and check that out if you would like. But today I'm going to be showing with you guys this space, which I have 90% complete and set up. It still needs some cable management and tweaking and stuff, but this is basically my editing command center, my little home edit suite, if you will, and also going to be my live stream studio. So I'm live streaming from a different angle today. I just kind of threw it up and put it together so that I can show you guys what I've got going on over here. Apologies if we get some light changes and stuff like that. I'm just using window light right now. I didn't have time to set up any lighting or anything like that. I actually just flew back from Los Angeles late last night, managed to get myself some sleep and pull myself together to get live for you guys there. But guys, I will be answering your comments and questions along the way. That's the beauty of having the live stream, is you guys get to hang out. And I have the ability to pull those up on the screen so that everyone can see them. So let me do that right now for you. Pull our chat up there. There we go. I see we've already got some people in here. We've got New Legend Pictures. Excited to see this one. And then Bartception. Yeah, sorry, I know it'll be a little weird with the OBS running in the background, so you'll get a double, you know, actually continuing on to infinity of me there. But yeah, so this is my my live streaming setup and my video edit setup, and I'm going to show you guys how I've put this together and show you guys how I decided to set myself up for live streams. Again, this won't be the usual live stream setup, the camera that we have right now. I've got another setup going on behind me, but it's not fully operational yet, but it will be soon. So guys, please feel free to leave any questions or any comments along the way. I have my iPad here so I can monitor the comments without having to spin around to the computer every time. Yeah, I'm gonna share with you guys what I'm using. I'll share some links in the description down below after this show is over, letting you guys know where you can find any of these products if you're interested in using them to set up your own setup. But this is how I have done mine. So I am going to, like I said, share all that with you, and then I'm also going to give you guys some updates as to some new stuff that's going on for me, some travel that I have coming up, and what my schedule is like going forward. And I got some new toys that I'll briefly share with you guys today too. So let's dive right into it then. Let's see here. We've got a few here. New Legend Pictures. Oh, it's Aaron. Hey, good to see you, Aaron. New Legend Pictures. Cool name, man. But yeah, so this, guys, is my new setup here in the new house. This is going to be my edit suite / live streaming studio. I'm going to have a regular studio built downstairs for pre-recorded YouTube videos, but I have admittedly not had a chance to even set that up in the least bit yet. So that'll be coming sometime later in the future. But the first thing I dove into was getting this up and running and set up so that I could continue working, because I constantly have projects running. So when we moved, I had a few days where I couldn't work, so I had to get this all set up. So, you know, much to my wife's chagrin and dismay, as soon as we got here, my main focus was on getting this set up, and it did take a little while. So I'm going to walk you guys through what I've got here. So before I take the camera off of the tripod and really start digging into all the components here, guys, I am operating off a Mac. I know there's always that big debate between Mac versus PC. I tend to be a Mac guy, and it's mainly because my entire ecosystem of everything is Apple. You know, we have iPhones, we have iPads, we use Apple TVs to stream our media throughout the house, and all of that is centered in a hub over here that I have. And so we're really just integrated into that ecosystem. And while yes, I admit that, you know, you can build some serious horsepower PCs for less money, unfortunately, I don't mind shelling out a little bit of extra money to buy Apple. I know the new iMac Pros are out, and I do have my eye on them, but you know, $9,000 is a big chunk of change. But the thing is, if it is going to allow me to do my job professionally easier and allow me to do more things, then it might be worth the investment. So I haven't gone that way yet. I still have a 2013 27-inch iMac here, fully spec'd out, but it's able to edit 4K, and I'm able to do everything that I need to for the time being on this machine without any issues. So you know, you can have the Mac versus PD or PC debate all you want in the comments down below. I'm not going to dive into it today. This is just what I'm using. And then off to the sides, what I've got here is I actually have two 4K monitors. So these are Dell 24-inch 4K monitors, and originally I only had one. I had one off to the side here, but getting into live streaming, I've decided to add another monitor. And the reason for that is that you can kind of see behind me that it takes up some screen real estate to properly do a live stream. And also editing, I like to take up several different windows. And so this way I can monitor my OBS. Usually I'll actually have OBS on this screen over here, which frees up this main screen for me if I want to stream my screen. Say I want to show you guys a program, or I want to show you some editing tips in Premiere or something like that. I can stream this screen without having all of my stuff for OBS and broadcasting on it. And then over here I have the YouTube you know, control room where I can manage the live stream and everything like that. So having three monitors and all of that real estate is really going to help me be able to see and monitor everything that I want while I'm doing live streaming. But also for video editing, what I used to do was I'd have my timeline and main Premiere edit right here on the main screen, and then my full screen output, basically my program, my final video, would be showing over on this screen over here, and that worked fantastic for me. But I found that sometimes I needed to open up some other stuff. Say I needed to open a document where I had, say, people's credentials if I interviewed them, and I needed to give them lower thirds titles, or you know, I needed to open up Video Blocks or some other website or Audio Network to get stock music, and I needed to browse through that and try and find music or stock video. This now allows me to not have to leave Premiere. I don't have to minimize it. I can open it on a side screen, and I can go through and find those assets online or look up whatever I need without having to, you know, minimize a program and bring it back up. I know it's, you know, first world problems there. Oh no, I have to minimize a program. But I find that it really takes me out of it to have to do that. So having the third screen really is awesome. So now I'm going to go ahead and let's see if we have any comments come in here. Jay Warrior is here and Drew Hester. Awesome. Good to see both of you guys. Thanks for joining me here. I'm going to go ahead and pop the camera off of the tripod now, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a closer look at how I've got all of this stuff set up, because I really did take a lot of time getting this set up. So let's go ahead and do that. So bear with me. Maybe close your eyes if you get motion sickness or something. I'll try and make this as smooth as possible, but hang on one sec, guys. All right, so let's get this off of here. Make sure not to disconnect my HDMI or mess anything up. Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay guys, so here we go. I'm gonna get my chair out of the way. And as you can see, cable management still severely lacking for the most part, guys. But like I said, this is about 90% complete. So I'm gonna show you guys what we've got going on here. So like I said, I've got the iMac right here in the middle. And it is, unfortunately, actually on the desk. So iMacs are a pain in the butt because there's no way to wall mount them unless you get a special mount. And I didn't feel like going ahead and doing that. Some people have actually like cut the back of the iMac off to wall mount it, but I didn't feel like doing that either. That was a little bit much. So then here are these two 4K monitors. They're identical. They are from Dell 24-inch 4K monitors, and I will put a link to these down in the description below, guys. They're actually really affordable, under 400 bucks a piece, which is awesome. And if I can get back behind here, they are both wall mounted. So I have them mounted to the wall. Sorry if it's a little bit dark back there, guys. Let me adjust my exposure compensation here. get us some more light. There we go. So they are wall mounted on these articulating mounts. Both of them are. So it keeps them nice and clean, that little floating look there. I really like keeping everything clean and all that. So that was nice that I was able to do that. And so that's my triple monitor setup. And I really like it. It allows me to work very quickly and, like I said, share my stuff across various screens. Now, let's move on to the audio. So as you can see, guys, I've had these speakers for a long time. Let's go over to this one here. I've had these speakers for a long time. These are the M Audio AV40s. They're pretty old, but they're great studio monitor speakers. And I have wall mounted these as well. So you can't really see on that one. Let's go ahead and take a peek at this one here. So they are wall mounted as well. So I got these nice wall mounts and got them mounted there. And I actually ran all of the cables. Let's see how close I can get. I ran all of the cables through these channels that I put in the wall. So all the cables come down, go down, and actually pop out there and plug in and connect to everything underneath the computer. And it's the same deal with this one over here, guys. So all the cables run down, so they look like they're sort of just floating there on the walls, which I think is a really nice look, and you know, keeps everything clean. Like I said, I still have a few cables around that I want to try and deal with, but yeah. So let me take a peek at our comments here, guys. Sorry for this. Oh my goodness, I'm going like vlogger style here. So we had a comment come in. Jay's asking, are you streaming from a GH? Yes, I am streaming from the GH5 right now. GH5 is one of my favorite cameras, and I've been using it for live streaming on my show up to this point. But actually, I'm about to switch over to a different camera, which is probably the next thing I will show you guys. But yeah, so GH5 right now, but another camera going to be in operation very soon. So let's take a look at that. So here we go, guys. This is the camera I was talking about. This just came in. I just unboxed it last night. This is the Panasonic G7. So this is a really affordable little 4K camera. I obviously not as fully spec'd out as like the GH5 or even the GH4 necessarily, but all that I needed was a camera to, you know, point at myself when I sit here and do live broadcasts. And so I had heard a lot of really good things about the G7, and so I went ahead and picked one up. It was an incredible price. It was like $500 for this thing with the lens. It's nothing special on the lens, but again, I'm just streaming and I'm streaming 1080p, so this camera is all that I need for that. And so I'm really looking forward to getting this thing set up and doing my next live broadcast from that camera so that I can keep my GH5 sort of in circulation for shooting. Because usually I would have to have my GH5 mounted up here, and then if I want to go shoot a project, I have to take the GH5 off, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt to keep doing that. So this camera is going to permanently live on here, and let me show you guys actually how I have this mounted here. So you'll see that it is nice and floating and pointing right down at where I'll be sitting and interacting with you guys. And so I have an HDMI cable, and I also have a dummy battery, an AC adapter in there, so that it's constantly powered and good to go. And those are running back and down and through one of these channels, just like I had over there. I have the channels right there, so that is going straight down. And also the HDMI and the HDMI cable for the monitor here is running down through there. So the camera is set up like that. And then if you can see here, let me get my focus, I have this thing mounted on an impact magic arm. So it's just this one arm here, and I have it going, and then it's actually going into a wall plate that is on a stud. Let me see if I can get overhead for you guys and let you see it. So here we go. So we have this wall plate, takes a 5/8 pin, and that attaches to this friction arm that comes up. And then it has a little camera plate on it, and then I have the G7 mounted directly onto that. So this allows me to, if I loosen this knob down here, I can position this camera wherever I like, and I always have it in the optimum position for live streaming, which is really cool. Again, you know, there's no wires, there's no stand, there's no nothing. It's all hidden back behind and it's mounted to the wall. And don't worry, that guy is in a stud, so even though this doesn't weigh very much, it is safe. I wanted to take the precautions. So I've got a little bit of cable management I can do back there, but for the most part, it is set up and looks really, really good. So let's go ahead and continue back behind here. You guys probably saw this. So this jumbled crazy mess. This is actually my power distribution for the computer and the two monitors on the side. And the reason that I had to do this, so as you can see, there's a special channel here that it goes through. And it also has a power outlet. And the reason I had to do that, guys, is because it is against fire code to run just standard electrical cables through the wall. So even though I have those channels, it's against the code to just run electrical cables, regular plugs, behind drywall. You know, it could cause a fire or something like that. And so what happens here is this is a special thing that actually allowed me to run Romex cable, actual electrical cable behind the wall and get everything set up properly and up to code. So it comes down to here. As you guys can see, here it is. Let me get focus on it. So my cables for, you know, transmission and everything to the computer run up there, but as you can see, it has an electrical thing and it literally plugs in. So I have this running and plugging into one of my power supplies, but that gives power. It's kind of a janky way to do it. You know, it's just a plug to this thing to a standard rated cable, running it all the way up so that I can power this stuff back here. So it's not the prettiest, it's not the most elegant solution, but the point is that it meets fire code and everything is up to spec. So that is important. And like I showed you guys, this channel also, all of my cables for the computer, USB, Thunderbolt, all that stuff are all running through that channel behind the wall, coming out underneath and then going all over the place. So this is admittedly pretty embarrassing under here. I really need to get all of this cleaned up, but I needed to get everything up and running first, and then prettying it up is going to be my next priority. So I'll be working on that hopefully soon, getting all this cleaned up and actually looking pretty good. So you can see I've got some USB hubs underneath here, and you can see where the monitors, their HDMI come through here. And then there's also an XLR cable, but I'll get into that in just a sec. So as we come up here, guys, this is what I was talking about. So this is the new addition also to my live streaming setup. So for the longest time, guys, I've been using a lavalier microphone, and that's what I'm using right now. But I wanted to switch over to shotgun. So what I have here is I have the Aperture Deity microphone, the shotgun microphone, great little shotgun mic. I have it on a Rode shock mount mounted to a Rode boom arm, and it comes down, and right now I just have it clamped to the desk here. So it's just clamped onto the desk, and then the cable runs along the back and goes through that channel back there and goes down over to my mixer, which I'll get to next. And so this is really nice because it allows me to, I can just swing this out of the way when I don't need it. And then when I'm going to be doing my shows, I can swing this right into place. And then if I'm sitting down, it's pointing right at my mouth and everything is all set up. So that's cool. So I don't like that I have it mounted to the front of the desk and I have this cable running around, but unfortunately, as you can see here, I have this mount. This is a heel or Heil, I'm not sure how to say it, wall mount for mic boom arms. But the problem is the Rode post will not fit into this. It's too big. So I got this thing mounted and then found out that it doesn't fit. So I'm gonna have to figure something out, but for the time being, this just sits here stuck to the wall, and this guy is mounted right here. But my plan is to get that off of there, pull this guy out, and mount it behind the computer on the wall so that I can hide that cable and I can keep everything nice and clean and set up like that. So continuing the theme of audio, guys, something else that's new for the live stream here is this guy. So I have never run audio for the computer and for the show through a mixer before, but I picked up this guy here. This is a Behringer Q802 USB mixer. So I'll put a link in the description down below for you guys if you want to check this thing out. It was really, really affordable. It's the bare minimum of all that I need, but what it allows me to do is run multiple channels and mics into this for my live stream. And so it works great. So I have right here the shotgun channel. So here's the input where the Rode or the Aperture shotgun mic comes in right here, and I can control its levels right here. So it's basically always on, but I can control how much of it is in the mix right here. This is a secondary mic. This is actually where I'm plugged in right now. So I have my wireless receiver just kind of sitting back there. But my wireless mic is going into here. I have this channel up. I can control my levels and everything right there. I have the computer here now, so the computer audio comes in right here. And what this is going to allow me to do, guys, is if I want to play videos in the live stream from the computer, I can actually have sound with them now because I can control when I have the computer noise coming into the mix that goes out. So that's nice. I'll be able to start doing a lot with that. I have a channel here for Skype. So it's another just dual left-right input, and it comes to this cable right here. And so my plan is to, in the future, if I start doing interviews with people on the show, I will set up a laptop, run Skype on it because it's a little much to run everything on one system, plug this in, and then that Skype audio, their audio, will come through into this, and I can control their levels and everything right there. Now, obviously, this is running my speakers as well as feeding input into the computer, so I need to be able to control that. So here I have my speakers. They're into control room out. So right now I have my speakers turned all the way down. So I just turn this knob to turn the speakers on and off, because if I were to turn these up right now, I would start hearing myself talking coming out of my speakers, and I don't want that. So when I do the show, I just turn these down all the way so that there's nothing coming out of the speakers and everything is just going straight into the computer. This is my main mix, so this is the master volume of all of these things combined. And the output mix for that, I don't know if you can see here, there's a USB cable that comes out and runs. I drilled a hole in the desk to route everything through. It goes down and runs into the computer via USB. So that's how I'm getting my audio input right now. So I have the ability, guys, to input all of these sources into a live show, which is great. You know, shotgun mic, a secondary mic, computer audio, and Skype, or it really could be anything else that I plug in that I want. I can come through this Skype channel, you know, because I can plug anything into here. So that's new. I'm getting used to it, and so far I'm really, really liking it. I'm liking how it's set up and what it allows me to do. So that covers audio for us, guys. So it's a whole new audio setup that I'm going to be using for live streams. So hopefully it works out. Hopefully it improves the channel, and hopefully it allows me to do some more creative things with our audio. So down here, guys, this is sort of an incomplete mess. As you can see, cable management is crazy. I've still got some stuff here. This is all my LED lighting stuff that I need to install, my RGB lighting, you know, just cool accent stuff, not a priority. But I know a lot of you guys have seen this before. These are all my hard drives. My router is in here now. This guy was acting up, so it's not actually connected right now. We're just running off the main router, but it allows me to hardwire my computer. So we are now hardlined into this right here, so no more worrying about Wi-Fi issues. And I do have gigabit Ethernet now, so we are just screaming fast with speeds, guys, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, all of my hard drives for all my backup. I have plenty of videos on how I have all these set up and how I do this. And again, in that old studio tour video, guys, I share with you how I have these set up and all that. So go ahead and make sure to check that out. I'll put a link to the description for you. Here's my Drobos. Yeah, I see Jay is commenting on my Drobos. These are my main storage. And so those are set up right now and good to go. I got some cables slinking down. So all this will be cleaned up here, guys. So all this is just temporary. But yeah, so there we've got that going. This right here, this bay is Not sure what I'm going to use it for right now. I have a Blu-ray burner in there right now. I honestly haven't burned Blu-rays in forever, but I'm thinking it could go in here, or if I get any other peripherals, I can pop them in there. So it's not even unwrapped yet. It's still bubble wrapped. Like I said, guys, I only got to work on this for a few days before I had to leave for Los Angeles for a week, so there's still plenty to do. But there we go. And something else you can see here, guys, is off to the side. This is how I power everything, or rather how I manage my power. So I have an APC UPS, uninterruptible power supply. And so this is plugged into the wall right there. And this manages my power, and everything is connected through that on this side. So all of these drives and everything are connected to that UPS. And what it allows me to do is if there's a power outage or something like that, it'll immediately kick over to that, and I won't lose a second. Nothing will shut down, and I'll have approximately another 30 minutes of work time before everything loses power off of the battery, because basically it's a giant battery is what's in there. So that one's over here. Now I do have another one over on the other side. Oh, seeing all those cables is horrendous. So I have another one over here that's doing the same thing, but this one is running like the monitors and the computer itself. So I do have probably overkill here, guys, but everything is running on 2 UPSs to make sure that I have clean and safe power for everything that I'm running up here, because there is a lot plugged in. There's a lot of power bricks and all that. So the last thing I guess I'll talk to you guys about is actually, you know, I've got my standard stuff. I've got my card readers mounted under here, but I had those before, so they're mounted here so I can just plug right in. I've got a USB hub right here. You can see this is where my HDMI is actually coming in for this stream right now. But all my little external drives that I'm running projects off of and whatnot all plug in through a hub here, and there's a network of hubs underneath. I'm actually using 2 Thunderbolt hubs. Let's see if we can see one. No, not really. It's back in there. But I'm using 2 Thunderbolt hubs from whatchamacallit, from OWC, Otherworld Computing. And that allows me to, basically all this stuff is running off of the Thunderbolt ports in the back of the computer, as opposed to overloading the USB bus. So that works pretty well. Now guys, like I said, I'm being lit by window light right now, but in the future I will have lighting in here. I have installed these blackout curtains. I just have them open at the moment so that we could get some light for this particular show. There we go, let's get some exposure going. But yeah, so that gives you the idea of the setup. And then the last thing I'll talk to you guys about is the actual desk itself. So this is an IKEA hack. So this right here is a 98.5-inch long countertop from IKEA. It is walnut veneer, you know, it's not actually walnut, but you see a lot of YouTubers and a lot of tech guys and stuff are modifying and using this as a desk, and so I really like the look of it, and I also like how big it is. So I got that from IKEA. And then underneath over here, this is again IKEA. I believe they call it Kallax, K-A-L-A-X. You know, just a little cubed shelving unit. So I liked that. It's got that put in there. And then over here is an Alex. Sorry for the glass of water down there. Is an Alex set of drawers from IKEA as well. Now I had an issue in that this guy and this guy are not the same height. So what I had to do was, my wife helped me with this. She was able to source the hardware. It got these little standoffs. So these are not from IKEA, although IKEA does make them. But we were able to get some short ones. Those screws aren't in very good. Whoops. So we were able to get some short ones here, and then some long ones over here. And I was able to extend them to the point that gets both sides of this to exactly the same height. So I was able to level the desk by mounting those on there, and there's 4 on each side, and they're sitting on top. So I was able to get this desk nice and level. And then along the back wall, what I did, I'm sure you guys saw underneath, is I ran a little 1x2 along and drilled it into the studs and then bracketed it. So this thing is resting on that and then is also bracketed, so it is actually supremely strong. and is well put together. And I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. So I really, really like that. So like I said, guys, a lot of cleanup to do here, a lot of cable management, but everything is up and running. We've got, the new camera for the live streams, which is going to be fantastic. Oh, there's my wife commenting. The legs are from Richelieu. There you go, guys. Thank you, Jesse, for tuning in and for commenting that. So yeah, she was able to find those for me from a company called Richelieu, which was pretty awesome. But yeah, we've got the camera set up. We've got the new audio set up. We've got everything nice and cleaned up. We've got a mixer, which is new, so hopefully a lot of really cool stuff I'm going to be able to do for the live show in the near future, guys. So let me go ahead and put the camera back on the tripod and sit down, and we'll chat and hang out for a second. Let me get us back on here. This is going to be fun to get myself back set up the way that I was. So let's zoom in and try and get our frame a little bit there. Bear with me, guys. All right. Focus isn't bad. I'll take it. Okay, so get my iPad back. So there you go, guys. That's my new edit suite / live streaming studio setup. It is all set up. It is all functioning. It just needs that cleanup so that it gets that nice, tidy, clean look as opposed to the rat's nest of cables that it is right now. But I think this is going to take the show to a new level. We're going to still be doing our shows every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, just like this one. But now I'm going to be able to do different things with the audio. Now it's going to be a lot easier for me to monitor different sources and stuff. And hopefully soon I can have guests on the show and we can do interviews via Skype and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to being able to do that. So if you guys have any questions about this setup, whether here live right now, of course, feel free to leave them in the comments. Or if you have questions after the fact, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below, because I do check all the comments and I'll be really happy to answer any of the questions that you guys might have. Let's see here. Aaron says, yeah, I was just about to ask where those legs were from. Yeah, the legs are from Richelieu. Oh, DSLR video shooter. Caleb is in here. Good to see you, Caleb. A lot of the stuff that I've done actually in this setup, I've pulled some ideas and stuff from your studio tours. So I really like the way that you always had a camera sort of mounted, ready to go for live streaming. And so I decided to go ahead and do something very similar. And I also, of course, always love your use of, microphone boom arms for like everything. And so while I'm using it just for a microphone as intended right now, I'm starting to employ that. So really glad to have you here checking this out. And yeah, I've definitely pulled a lot from you and learned a lot from you. But let's see here. And you say your rat's nest is way worse. Yeah, well, it is, it's a hard thing to get all this stuff set up and then make it invisible. But hopefully I'll be able to get under there and get everything all cleaned up and nice and tidy. But very much a work in progress. The rest of the house is still in boxes and stuff like that. So this is probably the one sort of, like I said, 90% complete room. Priorities, right? But let's see here. Looks like Caleb's got a few fans in here. So that's awesome. Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out DSLR Video Shooter, I don't know what rock you've been living under, but make sure to go check his channel out. He's got fantastic stuff. And let's see here. Drew Hester says, I nominate myself as the first guest. You know what, Drew? I might take you up on that. If we want to do something about acting and working with actors and stuff like that, I think you'd be a fantastic guest to have on. So, once I figure all that out and make sure that I actually know what I'm doing of patching in a Skype call into this, I'll hit you up, buddy. That'd be fun. But yeah. So the next part of the show that I wanted to talk to you guys about was, I said I wanted to update you guys a little bit on what's going on and what's gonna be going on. So obviously the busy time has started for me with work. I know we've only had a show, I think, like every other week for the past few weeks. So we had, I was in New Orleans, so we missed a show. Last week I was in Los Angeles working, so I missed a show. Well, next week, unfortunately, I'm going to have to miss a show again because I am going to Portugal for a week. So I have a job for work shooting in Lisbon, Portugal, and I am leaving on Wednesday and flying over there, and I'm going to be there for a week. Which means I will not be able to do a live show next Saturday. I thought about maybe trying it, but I really don't want to deal with those international data speeds and all that kind of stuff, and I don't know what my connection or connectivity will be like. So it's just easier to skip next week. I'm really sorry about that, guys, but we will be back the following week after that. I'm not sure what we're going to be talking about yet, but I will make sure to post that via social media so that you guys can be ready for what's coming. So make sure that if you haven't followed me on social media, just go ahead and find me on all the platforms. You know, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all under Bart Johnson Productions. And of course, make sure to subscribe to this channel here if you haven't already, and click that little bell so you get notified whenever I am going live or have a video go up. So while I won't have a live video from Portugal, I am definitely going to make the most of the opportunity, you know, to go to Portugal and shoot something. So whenever I travel to exotic places like that, I do like to shoot as much as I can just for fun and try and put together a little, you know, 2-3 minute video and pop it up on YouTube. So I'm going to be going around, I'm going to be taking my GH5 with me and shooting some footage. You know, usually it's just something set to music, but hopefully get some really cool stuff. But one thing I wanted to do is Lisbon is a beautiful like coast city. It's like built into a hill, like right on the coastline, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And I figured, you know what, this would be a fantastic city to shoot from the air with a drone. So I do have a DJI Phantom 4. I love it. I've been using it forever. But with all the other equipment and stuff for the job that I'm going to be taking with me, I really didn't want to lug the giant case that I have for the Phantom 4. I know it's not huge in comparison to like the Inspires and stuff like that, but it is still a big case. And then also there is the risk of me being questioned, you know, going into Portugal, you know, why are you bringing all this equipment? What are you doing? So to avoid that, I decided not to bring the Phantom 4, but I still wanted to shoot with a drone. And so what I did was I went ahead and pulled the trigger and got a new device here. And I know I'm late to the game on this, so I'm not going to be reviewing it or anything like that. There's plenty of reviews out there that you guys can check out. But we have got, I'm a little overexposed, but we have got the DJI Mavic Air. So as you can see, guys, this thing is tiny. It is so small. I had seen it, I was kind of interested in it, but I never really saw a need for it because I had the Phantom, and so I decided that, you know, this would be a good alternative, and especially because of its size. So everything, batteries and everything fit within this teeny tiny little case. It was extremely affordable, and so this is what I'm going to be taking to Portugal to get my aerial footage, and I'm really looking forward to trying this thing out. I might try and fly it in the backyard today just to get a feel for it and see what's going on. But yeah, so I will let you guys know what I think of this. Not going to be doing a full review because they're all over the internet. There's plenty of guys who have done really extensive things on this, but just want to let you guys know that you can look forward to some footage from this coming soon. There we go. I believe my wife is scratching on my office door, trying to get my attention. So, but yeah, pretty funny. So we've got this here, and you'll be seeing some coming from that there, guys. So let's go ahead and check out our comments here, guys, and wrap this up. So let's see what we got here. Jay says, hey, bro, I'm not sure how much lighting stuff you do, but I would love to see some breakdowns. It's always cool to see how other people approach lighting. Yeah, Jay, I do have plans to do that because I do a lot of lighting. I do a lot of lighting for interviews and a lot of lighting for interviews on location where I have to travel to them. So I'm used to bringing sort of a portable and reasonable sized kit and still getting pretty good results. And so I do have plans once I get my studio set up up downstairs. Hopefully within the next month or two, get everything up and running. I do want to do some lighting breakdowns for how to shoot, different styles of interviews, and various other things and other lighting tricks, because I do have a lot of lights and a lot of different ones. And you're right, I think it'd be really interesting for people to see how I light things and how I set things up, and also to see how other people do it too. So yeah, lighting techniques and breakdowns and setups is definitely something that I have planned for the future. So do stay tuned for that, because I've been wanting to do that. I just haven't had the space to really do it. So now I'm going to be able to do it here in my studio at home, which is fantastic. Let's see here. DSLR video shooter Caleb says, gotta go feed the 2 kiddos. Cheers. Yeah, if you're still here, Caleb, congratulations on the second kid. That's absolutely fantastic. And good luck to you, and have fun. I look forward to connecting with you online, and maybe at NAB I'll see you again this year. Don't know if you're going or not. But yeah, take care. Thanks for stopping by. New Legend Picture says that should be cool. I assume you're talking about going to Portugal, Aaron. Yeah, I'm really excited to go there. It's gonna be pretty sweet. And let's see here. Jessica Johnson, my mom's coming, but my wife says hashtag humble brag. So thank you. My wife is trolling my live stream, ladies and gentlemen. That's the woman I married right there. So thanks, baby. I appreciate that. And yeah, so that's about all we've got in the comments here, guys. So I am going to go ahead and start wrapping this show up, guys. So I appreciate you guys hanging out and joining me today. Hopefully this was interesting to you and informative to you. I always love seeing how people have their stuff set up, and so this is how I have decided to get myself set up. My wife says no, that's the dogs. I guess the scratching was the dog, so I blamed her, but it was the dogs. Sorry, baby. But yeah, so I'll put links to a lot of the products that I mentioned here in the description down below. So if you guys do want to go ahead and check them out and purchase some of these things for yourself, I will make those available for you guys down there. And if you guys have any questions beyond the end of this live stream, please feel free to pop them down in the comments. I do read every single comment that is posted on my channel and try to either like or respond to them. So if you do have anything that you want to know beyond what I shared today, please feel free to pop them down below. So guys, like I said, I am going to be leaving on Wednesday for Lisbon, Portugal. I will not be able to do a live show next Saturday at 1 p.m., but I will be back on the 22nd. That's when I'm flying back, so I should be able to, whenever the next Saturday is, we will have a live show. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you click that notification bell so that you get notified when I go live, but always look for me Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Guys, I really appreciate you coming in and hanging out. I think we had another great show. I always love sharing this stuff with you guys, and I will see you in 2 weeks. You guys take care, and I will see you after Portugal. All right, guys. See you later.